I'm a little late, but I have to deal with some travel plans.
Moss rages on.
So we're gonna get that sorted. Freaking Thanksgiving's coming up. And then we gotta do Christmas. And then I got a friggin' Christmas baby warming party. So I gotta figure that out in the beginning of December. And then I got this interview with the government coming up to get my citizenship. That's all happening within less than a month. So I've been kind of stressed. I'm just stressing out right now. And I have to make the Christmas cards that I have to send out to like over 100 people. I'm trying to get that done before Black Friday because they have deals and shit. So I got a lot of shit to do. But we are going to stream tonight and talk about some news that's happening. Some YouTube drama, some political news, and oh my god, we need to watch this drums. I have not watched those videos yet, so I haven't vetted them. And I wanted to watch this tonight, but it's either watch this or play Slay the Princess. So I'm gonna do the other stuff first and see, as more people come in, see what we want to end up doing. Okay. All right. Let's go.
Having a transformative impact in our politics. We have a brand new NBC News poll out this morning.
I'm eating some oat bran here as dessert.
I'm joined now by national political correspondent Steve Kornacki to take us through the
Okay,
numbers.
let's talk about how Steve Kornacki is like super charismatic in a nerdy way with like numbers and boards. He's kind of cute.
Steve, so
nobody can operate a board like he does.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you're right to set it up.
They try to do it,
What's happening
CNN,
in the
doesn't
Middle
work.
East, it really does seem to be connecting with what's happening domestically in our politics. Let's start with the bottom line here. President Biden, what is his job approval rating? We measure it now at 40%, with 57% disapproving. The significance, that is the lowest
Plus or minus
President Biden has
3.1.
ever measured in our poll in terms of job approval. And just look at the sea change from the start of this year. Remember, early this year, Democrats coming off a strong 20.
Bro, that's crazy. It's definitely because of the war. And also, this is a 3.1 plus or minus margin of error. So this could actually be 60 disapprove. Think about that.
2022 midterm, he was almost even. Now he's 17 points underwater on this question.
Significant dip there, Steve.
It is, and you can actually, if you take a look here by party, I think it's significant for two reasons. One, independents, obviously, more than 2-1 disapprove. You don't want to be there as an incumbent president, but I think equally significant, no surprise, 7% of Republicans approve of Joe Biden's job performance, but three times as many Democrats, 21%, that's more than 1 in 5, say they disapprove. You need much more unified support in your own party if you're going to have a successful re-election campaign. And we mentioned the drop in that approval rating and the connection to the Middle East, and here it is. On foreign policy, 33% approve of Joe Biden's job performance. Just in September, we asked the same question, and it was 41-53.
These numbers,
And that's plus or minus 3.1 again.
Steve.
So it could be 65 disapprove. That's crazy. Like, this war is going to lose Joe Biden the next election if he keeps going this way.
With one saying he cannot remember a time when a foreign entanglement that didn't involve U.S. troops had the capacity to transform the electorate, and that's not the case in this poll.
No, and go even a step further on this one. I think this jumps out at you too. Overall, this is the handling of the Israel-Hamas war, and again, it kind of measures overall up with Biden's.
Generation by generation, baby. We're at the, well, I am at the bottom. 18 to 34, 70% disapprove. And when these older folks 65 plus, when these older folks die and continue to die every election every 4 years, they're going to have to pander to us. So the country's going to move left. IMO, the country's going to move left regardless. And then there's going to be extreme right people as well. But the general country is going to move left, issue by issue. If they want to get elected, that's what they're going to have to do.
Foreign policy approval, but look at this. Among the oldest group of voters, 65 plus, there's a majority who approve of how Joe
Because they're
Biden's
psychotic.
That's plus 12.
But
Look
they're
at
also
the
the
youngest
ones
group
that
of voters.
vote.
20
So young
approve,
people's got to go out and vote.
70% disapprove. He is 50 points underwater with the youngest group of voters. That is a
And we're the
62
ones
point
who
net
saved
swing
him.
between youngest and oldest on this topic of Israel and Hamas.
And it's a critical group of voters that he needs in order to win re-election, that's for sure.
Exactly.
So we're showing you Biden's problems here, and the question is, who will the Republicans nominate to oppose him? And again, Donald Trump towering above.
I think
the field
Trump,
here.
DeSantis,
Two
and
others in
Haley
double
are the
digits.
three
Compare this
people.
to our last poll, and again, Trump is steady. The only growth you're really seeing, the only change, it's right there.
It's
Nikki
'cause she's
Haley,
crazy
she grew
hawkish
last time, she
on
grew a little bit more
Israel.
This time into double digits.
And those numbers are fueled by non-Trump voters. I've been talking to sources inside Trump world who say they're not panicking because of that, but it's
If
clear
they
she's
don't
got
talk
some
about
momentum
RFK
here.
Jr., that's
She
fucked.
does, and her challenge is just
Even though I
what
don't
you
like
say.
him,
Look at voters who call
he's
themselves
polling at, like, what,
conservative,
22%?
very conservative.
That's
They're
crazy for an
very
independent.
pro-Trump. They seem a little reluctant, a little resistant to her. She's got to break through not just with moderates and independents. She's got to break through with core Republican voters who like Donald Trump if she wants to make this a real game with Trump. Okay, so if we are heading towards
I think-
Trump, Biden,
Okay. I think if Trump goes into, like, jail, it's going to be between DeSantis and Haley. I think that they're going to actually have a real fight. I think a lot of them are going to go to DeSantis, but a lot of them are going to go to Haley because Trump doesn't like DeSantis. So it's going to be a real big toss-up between these two. I don't know how big of a toss-up it's going to be. It depends on what's going on, really, if the war is still going on, to be honest.
a rematch in 2024. How does that look in our polling right now? Here it is. Donald Trump, we have at 46%. Biden,
Plus or minus
44.
3.1.
And this is significant because this is the first time in the history
So it could be 41 Joe Biden and 49 Trump. So if the election was held today, Biden would lose because of his handling of the war.
of our polls. That
The
for
polls,
President
a
Trump
poll from Legacy Media is saying this. So you can't say like, oh, this is some like progressive bullshit, you know?
beats President Biden still within the margin of error, but still significant.
Yeah, in 2019, 2020, when Trump was president, he trailed all of them. This year, he's trailed all of them in our poll. First time in more than a dozen polls, we've seen a result like this. Some of the other ingredients that go into that, Biden has long had an advantage over Trump on likability. Look, at the start of this year, 39% said they had a positive view
Color
of
me
Biden.
surprised.
Nearly 30 of Trump. We've seen consistently a gap like this. Now, the gap is gone. 36 positive on both, and actually Biden 1 point more negative than Trump. That's been a significant advantage for Biden. Our poll says that advantage, at least for now, may be gone. And we talked about younger voters on foreign policy, and it's true on a host of other topics. Disaffected with Joe Biden. We have 46% for Trump, 42% for Biden among the youngest voters. The youngest voters in the 2020 election were Biden plus 26. This could be a massive sea change. And if you take a look here, too, everybody sort of says, hey, I'm not too nuts about the possibility of this matchup. So we said, let's measure this one way. And here's how we did it. Biden against an unnamed Republican. This is just a referendum on Biden, basically. And look at this. He goes from being in a dogfight with Trump to being double digits behind, but then flip it around. Trump against an unnamed Democrat. Trump goes from leading against Biden to being down by 6 points against the Democrat.
Yeah, but
Just
6
a
points
fascinating
is
look at the state of the race.
Biden is
Just
almost
welcome
is like
everybody
9
to
points
stick around.
behind
Great
a
stuff.
general
Thank you so much for
Republican.
being here.
Thanks for watching.
That's
Stay
freaking
updated about
crazy.
breaking news and top
The
stories
freaking
on
moderate
the
Democrats
NBC
should be
News app,
trembling.
or follow us on social media.
But they don't care. They just block that shit out. They just block that shit out.
Today, we're talking about Colleen Ballinger's ukulele list return to the internet. This
YouTube
ridiculous
drama.
but juicy OpenAI Sam Altman situation. The Brazilian government's demanding answers after a Swiftie died at a Taylor Swift concert. Pokemon Work Boy controversy. We break down Javier Milei's win in Argentina. And charity hospitals.
Taylor
Are they
Swift must be
actually
so
charitable? We're talking
heartbroken.
about all that and so much more on today's brand new extra large Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news. But first, I'm so excited I can make this announcement. Not only did the new drop just go live over at beautifulbastard.com, but it is going live during our Black Friday Cyber Monday sale. So that means you're going to be able to get stuff from our new drop for 20% off, but also the stuff that's been on site, some of that is going for up to 75% off right now. So go you want while you can. But that said, we got a lot of news to talk about today, so let's just jump into it. Starting with, Colleen Ballinger knows that her toxic gossip train ukulele song thing was a cringy
Fucking iconic, baby.
disaster. Which I know it's been a while since we said that name, so for some catch-up, right, earlier in the summer, she was accused of bullying, abusing, and manipulating her young fans, along with other inappropriate behavior. With those accusations just mounting over time, and then she ended up addressing it by singing a song on the ukulele,
her.
which people absolutely hated and made the whole situation bigger and worse. I mean, to such a point that when other creators and celebrities did apologies, people would like Photoshop in a ukulele. With Ballinger then just proceeding to disappear from online life, but over the weekend, she
iconic.
actually posted her first video since all of that called Fall Vlog. Well, most of the video
It's so full of shit because if I am right about this, I think if you don't make a video like 6 months, you like get demonetized. So she's doing this within 6 months. And also holiday time is when like YouTubers make the most money, I think. So she's coming back for the moolahs.
ends up actually being a traditional vlog. She starts it off by addressing everything and calling her song embarrassing and adding,
was being accused of some
Then
pretty
remove
awful
it.
things, and I
Remove
just
that
was mad,
shit.
And I should have handled that situation with maturity and empathy, but instead I just let my ego take over. And
But
I'm
it's
really
her most
disappointed in
popular
myself.
video.
then moving on to address some of the actual allegations.
She's making a ton of money
Over
on
the
it.
last 15 years of my career, there have been moments where I was immature and inappropriate with some of my comedy. And there were times when I did not put enough thought into some of my fan interactions. And because of that behavior, people got hurt. And I am so sorry.
And with all that, saying that she never wanted to hurt anyone, but it's clear that she did what she feels terrible about. And also apologizing to anyone who feels abandoned by her over her silence over the last few months. But with that, saying she felt she needed to take the time to listen and learn, adding she's been in therapy, and saying going forward she plans on making some changes, including by making sure she creates an inclusive and safe space with her content, and adding,
If you want to be a part of my journey online, I would love to have you. And if not, I completely understand. I do not expect anyone to welcome me back with open arms. I don't expect to change anyone's mind with this video.
and Ballinger going on to say that she wants to prove that people can grow and learn from their mistakes. And then after about 3 minutes addressing everything in the video switches to kind of like a more normal vlog where she goes through the motions of her day. And as far as the reactions to this, I mean, in the comments, the responses are a little bit mixed. Some are happy about this return. Some feel uncertain, saying things like, I'm really feeling torn. Used to be a huge fan, was pretty upset to see all the things that came out about you. I'm happy to know that you are doing well. I feel like apology was sincere, but I want to see accountability, and whether it is public or private apologies to those involved. Though also here, this is one of those stories where it's like, depending on where you go, the responses are very different. For example, on Twitter, the responses are more negative, with people saying things like, after 6 months, Colleen Ballinger basically said the victims are worth 3 minutes of her time. Really, really think about how fucked up that is. 3 minutes after endless evidence and videos. As well as, I'm tired of people saying she apologized, move on. When you've done as much as Colleen Ballinger, you can't just lump countless apologies into one vague 3-minute apology section of a vlog. With some also accusing her of coming back before Thanksgiving so she can cash in on the money that comes from ads during the holiday season. But for her part, it does seem like she plans on continuing being online, because she's actually already posted a second vlog since her return. With this news, this update to a situation that was just so massive in the past, I gotta know, what are your thoughts right now? Which camp are you landing in, and why? And then, y'all, this OpenAI Sam Altman situation is insane. Like, this is one of the craziest, most ham-fisted stories I've seen in the business space in a long time. Right, so if you don't know, Sam Altman was the CEO of OpenAI, and he was the face of ChatGPT up until Friday, because that is when the board of the company shocked everyone and just gave him the boot. The company is saying in a blog post, Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process by the board, which concluded noted that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. And this is reportedly Altman clashed with the board over how quickly to develop generative AI, commercializing OpenAI's products, and what steps the company needs to take to lessen their potential harm to the public. And of all the board members, Altman reportedly butted heads the most with Ilya Sutskever. But, with all this, within hours of Altman being fired, we saw OpenAI president and co-founder Greg Brockman quitting in solidarity, along with a string of other senior researchers. You also had investors, including Microsoft, who just put so much money into this company, saying they were completely blindsided by the board's decision to fire Altman, but also notably since saying they remain committed to the partnership with the company. However, then over the weekend, the board seemed to reconsider their decision, because on Saturday night, less than a day later, there was reportedly a memo sent to staff saying the company was optimistic about getting Altman and others back on board. And according to Bloomberg, Altman was open to returning, but called for the removal of the current board and a statement absolving him of any wrongdoing. With reportedly the board initially agreeing to step down, but then they backpedaled and refused. Bringing us to yesterday, when the board appointed yet another interim CEO, Emmett Shear. With Shear then taking over from Mira Barati, who was just appointed following Altman's removal. So 3 CEOs in as many days. And so then, as far as Altman and Brockman, boom, news breaks this morning, notably before opening bells for the stock market. They're now going to work for Microsoft, leading a new advanced AI research team. But this also, as now 500 of the around 700 staff at OpenAI are threatening to go as well, saying in a letter to the board, unless they reinstate Altman and step down themselves, the hundreds of employees will accept positions offered in Altman's new team at Microsoft. And interestingly enough, Ilya's name is on that letter, despite reportedly leading the push to fire Altman. Who also, notably with that, earlier this morning, he tweeted, "I deeply regret my participation in the board's actions. I never intended to harm OpenAI. I love everything we've built together, and I will do everything I can to reunite the company." Also with this, OpenAI's new CEO, Emmett Shear, has announced that he will be bringing on an independent investigator to look into the firing of Altman, and saying in a tweet, "It's clear that the process and communications around Sam's removal has been handled very badly, which has seriously damaged our trust." And going on to say that he plans to, quote, reform the management and leadership team and push for change within the company, including, quote, significant governance changes if necessary. Which with that, it brings us up to the present, but understand this is still a developing situation. Also a really just weird situation. I mean, we're talking about OpenAI. As far as companies that have hype and a lot of attention, there's very few that have more than OpenAI right now. And for their very public founder to all of a sudden just unceremoniously get kicked out at the end of the day on a Friday, like, what is happening there? So without a doubt, I think more information has to be coming out soon. But in the meantime, as the story continues to develop, I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts here? Let me know in those comments down below. And then, for your daily online drama news, let's talk about this Pokimane situation. Because the way the cookie has crumbled in this situation, I hate myself for saying it that way, but the way things have played out has been very interesting. As we talked about this previously, she just launched a new snack company called Mina Snacks, specifically releasing gluten-free cookies made with natural ingredients and no preservatives. And there was initially some backlash about how the cookies were made, if she just stuck her branding on an already existing product, which she denied. And while that aspect of this whole thing is kind of played out, today's controversy has to do with the price of the cookies, because it costs $28 for a pack of 4 bags. Some people with that thing that's pretty steep in criticizing her. And all of this appeared to get so much bigger because she seemingly addressed this over the weekend, saying,
when people are like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but broke boy, just say so.
with people getting absolutely pissed about her comment. They're saying things like, these streamers are getting so out of touch with reality, it's actually disgusting. And I mean,
I think Pokey was joking. Not the best joke,
so awesome.
but I do
Listen,
think that she was joking.
And start calling my audience
That's
broke,
my
just beat me
opinion,
up.
but
I'll give you all permission right now. Hell, even big names like Voice Critical chiming in.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know what is there beef between Moist now and Charlie and Pokey. Like, that's weird. Super weird.
Something so rude and nasty to the audience she is trying to sell this product to. Your wealth was built on their backs.
So it is also worth noting that some people did defend her, saying it's just another case of people finding an excuse to call her out, arguing if you can't afford the cookies, don't buy them. It's so simple. This girl launches some cookies and the whole world's on fire, but actual problematic streamers do wild shit and y'all stay shut. And as someone with celiac disease, I spend anywhere from $5 to $10 for a single bag of certified gluten-free cookies every time I shop. This pricing is normal for gluten-free goodies. Y'all just love to hate successful women, which I will say, my celiac
That's
friend
very
Maddie
true.
can confirm that price
That happens
point.
a
That ends up
lot.
kind of just being part of her life. She's made peace with $10 $10 bags of cookies a long time ago. But also with this, you have people saying, yes, people have and do go after Pokimane for kind of nothing bullshit. But here, shaming someone for not having money is an ugly, nasty look. And for her part, Pokimane did actually respond to all this backlash, writing, "While what I said was 100% intended to be a joke, I see why it came off as insensitive, and I apologize for that. I also understand the current price of the cookies may be expensive for some, and promise we'll continue to consider pricing to keep Mina as affordable as possible." And also saying that her comment was specifically referring to one rude person in the chat. It wasn't supposed to apply generally to her whole community. But ultimately, that is where we are with the situation right now, and I'd love to know where you land on this. What are your thoughts on the comments, the backlash, her response, the whole celiac situation, and also, has your opinion of this whole situation changed from the first time we talked about it to now this bit? And then, I'm looking forward to the deliciousness of Thanksgiving dinner. And this year, I won't have to feel guilty for not sharing with my dogs. And that's thanks to the sponsor of today's show, Sundays. Because with Sundays, my dogs feel like they're eating their best meal every day. Right? Sundays is fresh dog food made from a short list of human-grade ingredients containing 90% meat, 10% veggies, and 0 synthetic nutrients. Sunday uses an air-dry process, so it doesn't require refrigeration. You just pour and serve, and it's super easy to store. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that our dogs are obsessed with this food. They see the box and it's Thanksgiving dinner to them every time. We love feeding them quality food, but also the convenience of home delivery is where it's at for us. Because at some point I think a lot of us has been in that position where all of a sudden all the food's gone. You're resorting to like sliced bread or whatever, just dog friendly in the pantry. Not only does Sundays cost 40% less than other healthy dog food brands, they're offering their best deal yet for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 60% off. So y'all take advantage of Sunday's Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale from November 16th to the 30th. And take comfort. Kind of talk about it, because over the weekend Taylor Swift was in Brazil as part of the international leg of her tour while the country was being hit with a massive heat wave. Temperatures were over 100 degrees and felt astronomically higher as thousands of fans waited for hours outside to be let into the stadium.
39
no
Celsius?
Water bottles were allowed.
That's
One of
crazy.
those fans was 23-year-old Ana Clara Benavides, who had reportedly taken her first flight ever to come see Taylor Swift Friday night, and she fell ill before the show. And according to a statement from the show's Brazilian organizers, Time for Fun, Ana was attended by paramedics and then taken to the stadium's first aid center. From there, she was taken to a hospital and then died an hour later, with Ana's father giving a statement to a local outlet and saying, "I lost my only daughter, a happy and intelligent girl. She was about to graduate in psychology next April, saving money. I have no words to express my pain. She left home to fulfill a dream and came back dead." With them then also calling for an investigation
Holy
into his daughter's
shit.
death and asking why the Swifties weren't allowed to bring their own water into the stadium. So the situation has brought a lot
That's
of scrutiny
crazy.
to Time for Fun, and not just from Swifties, but also the Brazilian government, who notably has reportedly said that they will be investigating Time for Fun, and the Office of Rio's public prosecutor has opened a criminal investigation into the case. Now, with this, when Taylor learned of Ana's death, she shared a statement on Instagram saying she was devastated and adding, "I'm not going to be able to speak about this from stage because I feel overwhelmed by grief when I even try to talk about it. I want to say now I feel this loss deeply, and my broken heart goes out to her family and friends. This is the last thing I ever thought would happen when we decided to bring this tour to Brazil." Now, with this, Ana's death has obviously taken the headlines, but this also, as many other Swifties have suffered in the extreme heat, countless fainting and getting sick. There are several videos circulating online of Taylor stopping the show as her fans are chanting for water and her asking staff to get some. At one point, she even threw a bottle of water from the stage into the crowd herself. And so following all that, Time for Fun said that fans would be allowed to bring in their own water bottles, and free water checkpoints will be set up with 8 medical posts. But also, as temperatures stayed dangerously high on Saturday, Taylor decided to postpone the show. And saying in a statement on Instagram, "I am writing this from my dressing room in the
And
stadium."
also kind of like, throwing those bottles was tad bit dangerous, but I'm sure she tried to be careful. And second, like, fuck, I forgot. Second, like Taylor, like, the reason why that law is in space, like that rule that they can't bring their own food, and stuff like that, it's not just because of money and everything. Maybe they have like things like soccer or football there, I mean, it is Brazil, and at that stadium, like, notoriously football fans are quite deadly, and passionate. So, that's probably to protect people, because you could use like a freaking, like a full water bottle and like fucking kill someone or concuss someone, seriously injure somebody. But like, Taylor Swift fans aren't these types of people, okay? Taylor Swift fans are not like Morgan Wallen fans, okay? They're not gonna fuck up the porta potty and have like a fight with like pulling hair and shit, okay? They're not gonna do that.
The decision has been made to postpone tonight's show due to the extreme temperatures in Rio. The safety and well-being of my fans, fellow performers, and crew has to and always will come first. With the show then going on as planned on Sunday when temperatures cool, and the Saturday show will be postponed to tonight. But ultimately, that is where we are right now, and we're gonna have to wait to see what happens, because remember, this is a developing situation. There's an investigation in place, and so of course, in the meantime, I'd love to know your thoughts here.
And then, purple. That is the first word we've been able to read from a collection of 2,000-year-old scrolls, with the scroll in question being discovered as part of a collection of hundreds in the town of Herculaneum in the villa of Julius Caesar's father-in-law back in the mid-18th century. And they were carbonized by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, when Herculaneum was covered in volcanic mud and hot gases. Now, a big thing is that with these scrolls, they look like lumps of coal, and when scientists tried to unroll them, the scrolls crumbled without giving up very much of their text. Then in walks Dr. Brent Seals, a computer scientist at the University of Kentucky. And Dr. Seals and his team pioneered digital unwrapping using X-ray tomography and computer vision, with his team first using this technology on the En-Gedi scroll discovered in the Dead Sea region in Israel, and it allowed the scroll to be digitally unwrapped and read without opening the scroll itself. However, the Herculaneum scrolls proved a much more difficult task, because rather than the dense ink used on the En-Gedi scroll, the ink on the Herculaneum scrolls was carbon-based, meaning that X-ray contrast against the carbon-based papyrus wasn't possible. But Dr. Seals and his team determined that under infrared light, some of the detached pieces of the scrolls are readable, and that data can actually be used for a machine learning model to detect otherwise invisible ink within the X-ray. So the team used a particle accelerator to make the X-ray as high contrast as possible.
What the fuck?
The machine learning model can pick up on very subtle surface patterns on the papyrus that can indicate...
These people are so smart. Like, how? I don't understand. Like, I wish I was that smart. I would figure this shit out. Like, this is amazing work. Like, what the fuck?
ink. So Dr. Seals, along with Nat Friedman and Daniel Gross, created the Vesuvius Challenge, offering hundreds of thousands of dollars in prizes for anyone who can read these scrolls using this process. The grand prize is $700,000 to whoever can read 4 separate passages
almost
of
$1 million.
plausible text from the scrolls. The reason for this giant bag of prize money is that the task is actually very difficult. These scrolls are very long, tightly wound, and damaged, which make them difficult to segment properly. And then there's the whole issue of finding the ink. And then you have to apply the ink detection model to the entire segmented scroll, and that's a monumental task. And while we haven't quite gotten to the point of reading whole scrolls, there has been a winner for the smaller challenge of finding 10 legible letters within a 4-centimeter squared area. And not only are there letters, there's a word, purple. With Luke Ferreter, a 21-year-old computer science student, being able to identify 10 letters, and among them was the word purple. Though not actually purple, but a word that could either translate to a noun, meaning a specific type of purple dye, or simply the adjective purple. Plus then, a few months later, another student submitted even clearer results, independently verifying the same letters for a second-place prize of $10,000. And notably, the findings of those young men were only made possible by Casey Handmer, because Casey had found substantial evidence that there was ink remaining in the scrolls. So he was also offered a $10,000 prize. And so these advancements mean that
What?
prize of $700,000 and the ability to read this massive collection of 2 millennial
Yo!
scrolls is within reach. And honestly, who knows? what
Yo,
kind of
yo, yo,
information
yo,
they can
yo,
hold.
yo,
For now,
yo.
It is just a waiting game, and with these latest
This is
discoveries,
crazy.
It's only a matter of time. And hopefully, if that is true, somebody jumps on this quick. Because one of the big things is that the Vesuvius Challenge is only eligible to be won until December 31st of this year. But I guess the main points, history and science are awesome. And then
Yeah.
America just got a major political shakeup after
Can you
Argentina
imagine about
selected the
if you-
self-described
if we were smart enough?
Javier Milei as president. And his name might sound familiar because we talked about how recently Swifties weren't a fan of his and they vowed to make sure that he wasn't elected. But in yesterday's runoff election, Milei scored over 56% of the vote and his opponent quickly conceded. And it's really hard to understand how big of a shakeup Milei's win is. First up, he's kind of just a weird fucking guy.
Feels
which is one of
like
the few
super
things that
wacky.
everyone can agree on. He goes to events dressed up in costumes and his whole
He
gimmick on the campaign
cosplays?
trail was to brandish a chainsaw, which was a reference to how much he wanted to cut up the government. And then there's the fact that he's a
This
political
is
outsider
literally
from a
their
fairly new
version
party
of
fighting a deeply
Trump.
entrenched establishment. And notably, other than for a few years, Argentina has been ruled by the same left-wing ideology since 2002. But that ideology has also been widely blamed for Argentina's major economic issues. Right? They have rampant inflation that's left over 40% of the population poor, despite the fact that unemployment is actually fairly low at just 6.5%. And so Milei is about as far on the other side of the economic spectrum as you can get, with one of his most radical proposals.
I don't know the economics of Argentina enough to really comment on this. I think this is something where you have to watch multiple videos about and try to figure out which one you understand and agree with the most. Philip DeFranco will give you like a very general overview and maybe a double sides thing, and then you should watch one about that's more centrist, and then to watch like Hassan talk about this. Like, he talked about it briefly, and obviously he hates this guy. So I think I think I need to know more about that, and I think I need to learn a little bit more about macroeconomics, international macroeconomics.
To fix the economy being to replace Argentina's peso with the U.S.
No,
dollar.
I feel like I
It's
don't
not
know
something that's
enough about
unheard of,
that.
and other countries have actually done this before, including in South America. Milei also wants to kill off the central bank and remove government positions, both because he wants to cut spending, as well as thinking they're just not necessary on an ideological level. It also lines up with calls to eliminate what he calls the political caste in Argentina, a group that he and allies have long accused of keeping Argentina poor. Also, Milei's views on cultural issues are extremely polarized. He opposes feminist policies, claims sexual education is killing the family unit, opposes abortion, and wants to repeal a recent law that made it legal. He's also an avid climate change denier, and he wants to reclaim Argentina's, quote, place in the world that it should never have lost, which is kind of his, like, make America great again. And considering Argentina used to be one of the wealthiest countries on the planet on a per capita basis, it is a sentiment that many Argentinians
What the
feel.
fuck?
So ultimately, we're gonna have to wait
No.
and see what this actually looks like, but this will probably be the
I wish
largest
I was
case
in
study
another
of how such
timeline.
drastic libertarian policies affect a country. Though it wouldn't be recommended to hold your breath for a positive outcome, as I mean, the hole that Argentina is in would be a massive problem for anyone to fix, regardless of politics.
And then, listen, it is normal and quite common to think about how to prevent hair loss or how to stimulate hair growth. I mean, just taking better care of your hair. And thanks to the sponsor of today's show, Keeps, they've got you covered. To date, Keeps has helped nearly 1 million men keep their hair and has over 4,500 five-star reviews
Okay.
with impressive, well as growth getting shipped care of that into the .com to help their communities and millions of dollars. Right, and again, the big thing here is I'm talking about independent, not-for-profit hospitals, something
Okay, not interested in that right now. Oh my god, there's drama. Jacob Elordi, you know the guy from Euphoria? This is the movie that got him his starting thing in Hollywood. And, he's like, he thinks he's too hot for the show. He thinks he's too big for the show now. I mean, the movies, the Netflix movies. So he was shitting on it.
Standing here,
Like, no humble. Like, no sense of humbleism?
telling you
Humility.
that I love you.
Jacob Elordi's come a long ways since his kissing booth days, generating awards buzz for his take on Elvis Presley in Priscilla.
Black hair and more eye makeup.
I don't know if I like it.
I mean, there's so much information and footage
Yeah.
and music, so it's just I had it on repeat in my ears for a couple of months.
But fans still remember him for his years as Noah Flynn,
Everyone just saw that, didn't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
a role Jacob now seemingly wishes he could scrap from his IMDb.
Yeah, well, get ready for life, you know?
The Australian actor covers GQ's Men of the Year issue, and inside the mag, he explains why the Kissing Booth films made him miserable. Quote, I didn't want to make those movies before I made those movies. Those movies are ridiculous. They're not universal, they're an escape.
How about a ride?
They're not universal, they're an
Come on,
escape.
Shelly. You know my mom will kill me if I leave you out here.
Jacob also talks about the one for them, one for me ethos in Hollywood. The idea you take on one project for money, another to feed your artistry, and it all balances out. But Jacob calls it a trap. You have no original ideas, and you're dead inside.
I learned a lot about myself.
This isn't the first time Jacob's told GQ how he felt about the Kissing Booth. Last year, he revealed he almost quit acting after the first film dropped because of the sudden rush of attention and scrutiny.
Oh, come
Jacob
on.
understood that might sound quite sensitive and dramatic. He doubled down and explained, I am sensitive and I'm very dramatic. I hated being a character to the public. I felt so far from myself.
Unfortunately, it just has my name involved in it, but it literally has nothing to do with me. It just doesn't affect the trajectory of my life. So I just can't ignore it, you know.
Jacob's
It gave
Kissing
you your
Booth co-star and former
trajectory.
girlfriend Joey King seems to feel the opposite way about the films.
You want to live with me?
No. Yes, of course I want to live with you. I want to do everything with you.
Last year, the actress told The Independent she, quote, couldn't be prouder of those movies. I loved them so much, and playing that character made me happy. I'll never regret those movies, and I love them so much, no matter what anyone says.
We had no idea what a successful movie would be. We had no idea the reach we would have. And the global reach that we've had with these movies blows my mind.
The franchise came to an end with a third installment in 2021. And while Jacob seems ready to leave it in the past, Joey told ET she's not fully opposed to a reboot in the future.
I think, personally, I think we left it where it should be left. I loved playing Elle Evans. It was like some of the most transformative years of my life, being her and being able to play her, being able to love her. I love her so much. I always say, like, if we do like a reboot in like 40 years, I'm down. But I think for right now, where we left her is where I want people to be able to like imagine what she's doing next.
Oh, that's so sweet. Fucking Jacob Elordi's just like fucking shitting on it. And this isn't okay. Oh my god, we're getting so deep into
Akar
this
Perez.
lore. He's also recently got big buzz too because he made the LGBTQIA plus love movie. I think it's a movie. It's a movie. It's on Netflix called Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I believe he plays the bisexual son to a female president of the United States. And he and the other guy, who is the spare heir, Prince of England, who is a closeted gay. They fall in love. It's like an enemies to lovers kind of story. It's great. So he was also in the kissing booth. And let's just see what he said about it.
One of the stars of the Kissing Booth trilogy responded to Jacob Elordi's recent criticism of the Netflix rom-com series. In an interview with Variety on November 16, Perez expressed his disappointment with Elordi's negative experience on set, stating, "I thought it was a shame because to my knowledge, everybody else had such a wonderful experience." He went on to emphasize the positive impact the movies had on audiences during a challenging time, saying, "Especially when those movies came out. It was a time when we really needed something like that." The 31-year-old actor shared his own perspective on the trilogy, highlighting the meaningful fan interactions and the joy the films brought to people. Despite Elordi's criticism, Perez acknowledged the silver lining, stating, "I guess the silver lining is he still made people laugh and feel good." Elordi, who starred alongside Joey King in all 3 films, had previously expressed his disdain for the movies in a GQ interview published on November 13. He called the films ridiculous and not universal, describing them as an escape. Elordi also discussed his approach to film projects, rejecting the one for them, one for me mentality and expressing excitement for his role as Elvis Presley in Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, released on October 27. While Elordi acknowledged briefly considering the potential overlap with Austin Butler's portrayal of Elvis in Baz Luhrmann's 2022 film, he ultimately accepted the challenge. Despite the similarities, he emphasized that his take on the role is a completely different thing and expressed enthusiasm for the exhilarating experience of portraying the iconic figure. In summary, Taylor Zakar Perez defended the Kissing Booth trilogy, emphasizing its positive impact, while Jacob Elordi reiterated his criticism of the films and discussed his excitement for his role as Elvis Presley in Priscilla.
Okay, I'm sure it's not going to be anywhere as good as the performance that what's his name? Vanessa Hudgens' ex. What's his name? Austin Butler. That they did it for like 10 years and he broke up with her and started dating Kaya Gerber, which is the daughter of Cindy Crawford. Just traded her in after 10 years of her supporting him. It's like the whole Anna Faris thing, except they didn't have kids. Thank goodness. Okay, so we're not going to watch this. We're going to play Slay the Princess. Let me see if I can do this. This is the first time I'm literally opening up the game. So, let's see. Fuck. Okay, hold on 1 second. I am trying to get you guys. Okay, Slay. Okay, I missed the last page. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know how to get back there, so. Okay. Whatever horrors you may find in these dark places, have art and see them through. There are no premature endings. There are no wrong decisions. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. Let's look at controls. That's way too long for me to understand right now. Of mouse, advanced dialogue activates interface, middle click, hides the user interface, access the game menu, right click, rolls wheel up, click roll backside. What? Rolls back to earlier dialogue, mouse wheel down, rolls later dialogue. Okay. Keyboard, Shift A. Shift A opens accessibility menu, enter advanced dialogue. Okay, that makes sense. Space advanced dialogue without selecting choices. Okay, so this is some selecting situation. Navigate the interface, the arrow keys. Okay, escape. Access the game menu, control, skips dialogue when held down. Okay, so when we restart, we're gonna control. Tab toggles dialogue skipping. What does that mean? Page up rolls to earlier dialogue, page down rolls to later dialogue. H hides the user interface. S takes a screenshot. V toggles assistive self-voicing. Okay, I don't know what that means. Alright. Okay. Alright, so I think we should turn the flickering images off because I don't want it to set. I don't want it to set me off. Okay. I have no idea how to play this, so this is just how it's gonna go. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
That's so cute. Oh my god, 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 look at that. Oh, I want to look at my voice is a little loud for me, but okay.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay. Explore the end of the world. What are you talking about? Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? Killing a princess seems kind of bad though, doesn't it? Can't someone else do this? Oh, forget it, I'm not doing this. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? Yo, that's dark. Do I get some sort of reward for doing this? Oh, okay, thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet, I've always wanted to march off a monarch. Off of Monarch? Fuck that guy. The end. What?
Talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
So just humanity's just not gonna exist. But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world? If you don't tell me why she's dangerous, I'm not going to kill her. Do you have any evidence to back this up? Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up? Killing a princess seems kind of bad though. Can't someone else do this? Have you considered doing it or what? Look, okay, we're not there. We're not there. We're not there. We're not there. Okay, we are at... Let's say if you don't tell me why she's dangerous, I'm not going to kill her.
She's not dangerous. She's just a princess. The danger comes if she gets out. Which she will, unless you do something about it.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
The more specifics you have, the harder it will be for you to do this very important job.
No, that's not true.
She's a princess. People will listen to her because listening to her is in their nature. And when they do, everything will come crashing down.
Okay, well, I need more evidence. That's too vague.
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
You mean you might as well just kill somebody?
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Have you considered the only reason?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she is dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
I disagree with that philosophical statement. I think it's inaccurate. And I think somebody that didn't understand philosophy wrote that line. Oh, hi Shark, sorry. I'm good.
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Okay.
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
Okay. Can I pick some? Look, I'll go to the cabin, I'll talk to her, and if she's bad as you say, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had a chance to meet face to face. Okay, I'm sold. Let's get this over with. Okay, thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet, I've always wanted to more. No.
I guess
We'll do
just
this
have
for
to
the
see what
lols.
happens. But a word
Like-
of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each
Okay, I don't
and
care.
every one of us is doomed.
Well,
So
then I don't
sure,
care.
Go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin.
Did I
You'll
make-
find the princess within.
Did I make the wrong decision? Oh god. Well, don't say
We're
it.
gonna go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Well, I don't
Ignore him.
know.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, let's fucking proceed, bro.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
What kind of... Of course, I would
The door to the basement
take the
creaks
knife.
open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in a room below.
So like, it's
This
kind of
is
like...
an oppressive place. The air feels heavy
Hold
and
on.
damp. A hint her voice carries up the stairs.
Okay, I feel like this reminds me of like the interactive Black Mirror episode where there's different endings.
Who's there?
She sounds really
She
scary.
sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Just one wrist? What is this?
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
She sounds like a bitch.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
No, fuck you, bitch.
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold...
Tighten my fucking grip.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
Okay, then definitely am not
Your grip on the blade tightening as
dropping
you
my
steal yours off.
fucking blade.
I'm probably turned up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. You go into this expecting to die, you're going to die.
The fuck? That's not how it works.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
Mm-mm.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Or I'll kill you then.
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle.
Why?
She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow. We shouldn't have hesitated. But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat, the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand. Now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The fuck? I don't get a redo.
Path in the woods, and at the end you're here to.
Alright.
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole.
Fuck it, let's go.
Warning
Let's go, baby.
before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably... Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. If that's what
Okay.
you... I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your... Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. You take the blade from the altar. It would be... You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Wait, really?
What are you talking about? This is normal. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
What? So fucking confused, bro.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps
Hi,
almost as
Bunny
deep as you
Roo.
are tall. The smell of incense
Bun
drifts up
Ryu.
from below. For a
Is that how you
moment,
say your name? Bun Ryu?
most feel at ease. This is still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the...
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
Bro, that's terrifying. Thanks for following.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time.
That was terrifying. I feel like she's getting stronger.
She wants us to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago, you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
How many voices do I get? I hope it's not
Making your way down
more.
the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost
Whoa, what the
glowing in
fuck?
pink starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her.
She's like,
a chain
what do you
binds
call
her
it?
wrist to the far wall.
Respawn to like a higher level. She's gone through one evolution.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Drop it.
The blade slips from your fingers and clatters uselessly to the floor. We didn't have to do that, and yet you did. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better.
Kneel.
No, fuck you.
The words don't leave your mouth. Instead, your legs buckle.
Oh no.
Knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you couldn't even scratch me. And yet here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed.
I don't think she's a princess. I think she's like a demon.
What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met. I suppose that lends credence to our conversation in the woods. Still, whatever you do. You weak-willed buffoon.
Is that so?
The princess closes her eyes in contemplation.
Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart. It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten.
Defo demon, not princess.
The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations.
I didn't kill old people.
It's time for me to seize my destiny. And you, little bird, will help me seize it.
She's a demon. No
There's
question.
nothing else for us to do.
Never pledged to her. Okay.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
She's the fucking demon. Or devil or whatever. Who else speaks like this? Maybe she's Lilith. What would you have me do? What do you plan? I don't know what happened.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
The fuck?
And all you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
Yeah.
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone. That's exactly why it's rude.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do.
What? That doesn't make sense.
The story of a terrible and bountiful God unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was.
What?
The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world. And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours.
Well, we'll see about that. No, we are not pledging to you.
Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she... No objections. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but as your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer. You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. Okay, yeah. You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come, dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're... Oh, we'll end this all right. Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language.
What? I don't have other choices?
Just slay yourself.
Why? Why did it force me to do that?
Is ignore her and do what the blade in her hand.
Look at you. It's pointless to resist. In the end, but you're not the one resisting me, are you? There's something else in there. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she? It's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
You bring the blade to your neck. You slice through soft flesh, severing veins and arteries. Your blood flowing freely down your body. It's a painful lesson in obedience, but the pain will last. no.
When I see you again, you'll free me from my chains and deliver me to the destiny that lies beyond this place.
You will. I promise.
I know you will.
Everything goes dark.
Okay. Apotheosis.
You're on a path. At the end of
So
it-
every time the
Oh, look,
location
yes.
is different.
At the end of that path is a cabin. Excuse me? This is the third time we've been here, and this is hardly a path in the woods. Another witness to her radiance. I'm here to keep him in check. I'm sick of prying fingers digging around in our head, and he's making it all too easy for them to get in. This is bad. Oh, is it now? I hadn't noticed. Do you need a primer, Mr. Amnesia? No, I'm quite all right, but if all of you would take a moment to settle down, there's something important I'd like to get across to you before it's too late. Is it about the princess? We already know. Not to be trusted, that one. No, I mean, yes, it's about the princess, but whatever you think I'm going to say, it's probably not that. You're not to be trusted either. Look, fine, just out with it already, yeah? If I hear the words, "You're here to slay her," or "If you don't, it will be the end of the world," you'll have lost speaking privileges. You're going to hear some of those words, but not all of them. Definitely not all in that order. I'm in, really. I know, it's probably a bunch of lies, but even lies have a kernel of truth to them. You two are just wasting your time. It's all going to end when we open that cabin door, which means it's all ready. What's the point of dawdling when the end already? Okay, that nonsense he's going on about, that's what we need to talk about. You've been here before, obviously. So you have met us. This boy, were you in denial about that last time? No, I haven't met you, but reality is clearly falling apart at the moment. The only reason that would happen is if you knew things you weren't supposed to know. What? What the hell are you talking about? He's talking about those weird marble trees and how wrong everything looks. Yes, exactly. Whatever you did before gave her far too much power. So you've got to cut it out, get to that cabin and slay her before things get any more out of hand. We gave her power. Why didn't you ever tell us we could do that? We probably would have gone about things very differently if we knew that. We've built a new god, and she is limitless. Are our thoughts doing that? Make her small, make her small, make her small, make her small. Shit! What if I'm doing it wrong? What if I'm making her even stronger? Do you hear those two with their runaway thoughts? I'm only giving you the sliver of information I'm giving you now because things are already deep in the shitter. This was my last card to play, and it looks like it's already made things worse. So hurry, cabin, now. But a great and horrible change is already underway. The ground quakes beneath your feet. You feel an unyielding force pulling at you in your surroundings. The trees start to sway, then crumble, breaking apart as everything is drawn towards the cabin.
What the fuck is happening?
Even the earth beneath you seems to shift, your feet unable to grip solid ground as you're dragged forward along with everything else. The end of everything. The beginning of something new. The moment we open that door, she will be free. Stop believing everything you hear. We just have to get our thoughts in order. We just have to think straight. Any, words of warning? You already know everything you need to know. As you step forward, the cabin explodes. You're flung backwards, violently slammed into a tree as debris rains down around you.
The fuck is happening right now? Escalates every time. Every time I die, she gets more
Paralyzed
powerful.
awe and terror as the princess emerges, her body unfurling from some vast space as she stands upright to face you. The world bows to her. The ruined landscape shifts, trees and stone and the ground itself succumbing to her gravity, orbiting her like a great black hole.
Finally, the little bird has set me free. This is always how it was going to end. And this is always how it was going to begin.
There's a loud thunk from the tree behind you as something beds in its shattered bark. The pristine blade. It's now or never.
Embrace oblivion, because every time I've chosen Blade, I've gotten killed.
Fill the empty seat at my side. Join me for a new dawn.
You fool. You can feel her gravity envelop you, carrying you from the ground into the violent swirl of the wind.
Why do I feel so cold?
What the fuck?
Oh, where did she go? She's gone. Is this the end of the world? Did she end herself? And there's that mirror again. Was it?
I don't know where she went. I don't know how we'd even go about looking. It's narrator's gone. I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror.
I'm begging you, don't do this. It's different now. It feels it's calling us. I don't want to look at us. This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. It's calling us. And not in a good way. I don't want to look at us.
So I'm a monster.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. How can the world have ended if we are talking? I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more. I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is dominance. A figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you. She is part of me, and part of me is her. You speak in circles. Does it matter when
Yes,
one
it does
thing
matter.
begins and another ends?
It's pretty trippy.
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
What?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. I know only that they are. You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you. Nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
What? How many more pieces of you do I have to find? And what if I don't let you do this to me? I was sent to slay the princess to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Yeah.
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. Everything, until we meet again. Then we will be here forever, as we are now, unfinished, dry, hollow. I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Okay, so basically, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Ah, I see.
You're on a path.
How
in the
many?
woods, and at the end of
That's
that
a
path,
lot.
you're here to.
Okay.
While I appreciate the mental exercise we are running up against, nevertheless, let me assure you, before you decide causality, it's no use unless, of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do. Nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
I don't know who I am, man.
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it. It's a secret. Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your... We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him.
So the more I die, the more powerful she gets. So I have to change something that I do.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are... The blade is your implement.
I'm just gonna enter the basement. I'm not gonna take the blade.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. voice softly.
Hello? Is someone there?
Okay, her voice has changed.
Is hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Okay, but every time I've gone there unarmed, I've died from the blade. So I gotta do something different.
You are? It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay focused.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains? Okay. Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Do you imagine being named
Princess? Okay, I don't care what her name is. I don't know anything about you. For all I know, you're locked up down here for a reason. If I'm the first princess you've seen, well, what have you been eating? I would send you to slay you. What are you going to do if I let you out of here? Okay, let's ask her this.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess.
Well, she's not human, then it doesn't matter.
Okay, but actually, what has she?
Exactly, she has to eat.
She has to eat, right?
I don't know anything about you.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
Yes.
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust. The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter.
Yes, they do.
It's not like you'd believe me. Like I said, you can call me Princess if you... I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though.
What?
Everyone has a name.
Okay.
But she hasn't eaten?
She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully, you're starting to see that she can't.
I don't think I'm supposed to retrieve the blade, am I? Maybe I'm supposed to examine the chains. Maybe, okay, let's ask one more question. Shouldn't have to pick a name if hopefully starting to see that. But I don't think you're actually dangerous. But I want to see I'm not still. I'm starving So you think that's true? There's something about you that doesn't feel right. Let's be a little nicer.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt
Seemed like the
anyone.
blunt
I like
thing
the
didn't
world,
work.
I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world? I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting at.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking...
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one
Okay,
person.
I don't like this,
And us subjugating
like,
monarchs.
utilitarian, consequentialist, like, logic.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out. So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
What the fuck?
You have to make a choice.
I could choose the Brit.
I know you think this is some kind of fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work if we just stay here and keep watch. No one has to die.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here.
Oh my god, is she gonna turn like psycho?
You turn your back to the princess and make your way back to the stairs.
Fine. Turn your back on me. But it won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
The
Slip
fuck?
these chains. She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. Do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped the mask, didn't she? You can still grab the blade and get back down here.
But every time I've gone down there with the blade, I've died from my blade.
It'll be the death of all of us, but fine. We'll do it. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you
Shit.
from the other side.
She did slip the chains.
So you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by
Okay, somewhere along there I made the wrong decision.
and I'll never forgive it. You won't know the kind of enemy
Threaten me all you want. All this is my guilty conscience. So all of that was just an act, wasn't it? You're not really innocent or harmless. You're not even a princess. You're a monster.
I can be innocent and harmless if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's things out of your mind as best you can and huddle up. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar. Its lock broken.
But I'm not dead? She didn't kill me?
Where is she?
Ah!
Let me get out of that awful basement.
You try
Fuck.
and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though it isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps
Whoa.
closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you.
Okay.
You don't look well. A little green around the gills.
Gills?
A shame. If you'd only help me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both know this is the end.
I have to kill her first time around?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but everything goes dark, and you die.
Fuck.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here.
Okay.
Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable.
That was my next plan.
Remember what happened? Shh. That's a very good sheet. I think you'll find yourselves very hard pressed to keep any secret.
Fine, fucking let's just skip the beginning mumbo
Warning.
jumbo.
Before
Oh.
she will lie. I don't think lying and cheating is a thing. It doesn't matter.
It's the same as the first time, the first cabin.
The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table. The blade is your implement. Hold on. What happened to the door? There was a door here last time. It's just an empty frame. She's already got now, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on her? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it. Oh, we should have taken the knife. I don't think going down there unarmed is going to do us any favors. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps.
What? Okay, so it's not exactly
More
the
eyes,
same.
too. You never mention the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Okay, we need a game plan. Last time we were here, just being close to her was enough to kill us. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement. mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room,
Where am I supposed to
they
go?
diverge in opposite directions, left and right. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and...
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter. Because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
Okay. Let's go left.
You turn to the left. A faintly outlined path lies...
There you are. I told you I was going to
She
find
kind of
you.
looks. She's.
The princess
Ugh.
approaches.
She's giving
Suddenly go numb.
What's that movie? That Japanese anime that's like really. Oh my god! Like the little girl goes to this magic world and her parents become pigs and they eat themselves to death, and she has this companion. That's like a face and like a cloak of black. Forget what that's called.
Your arms quickly follow.
Spirited Away, yes.
This is it.
It's almost like you want me to get you.
There has to be a way out of this. Think. What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
As your blood begins to coagulate, it's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air. That's what are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function? The experience stops once more. Okay, well, whatever you were doing, please, are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want? Do you have seconds left? Yes, I'm sure. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her. How are we supposed to do that? We don't have a weapon. That isn't my fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it is because fighting it. Then you should get looking.
I'm not helping you leave. I'm going to try to get. Huh.
I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
Okay, that's not the right answer they want.
Would you look at that? You're suggesting exactly what I want. Somebody's ahead of the curve.
The sounds are fucking jump
I
scares.
suffocated, but that stupid cabin wouldn't let me. So I started to drag your body out with me, and then, well, you died before I could get to the door. And then I was here, and now you're here too. I don't think I can live without you, and death doesn't count. And as much as I love what we have going on, I have bigger plans than tormenting one poor little creature forever. I want to leave.
Okay, fine. One of these two. Okay, let's get out of here. Find you when I'll let you leave. There.
No!
Come around. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
I'm not going to let this happen, right? Before you can utter another word, your body stops. Do you think you can just wrest control princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to torment and oblivion.
Come on now. You don't want to be stuck down here.
The princess glides onto the stairs and beckons you to follow it. If only you had a weapon. This would, but we don't. We can still grab it. You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the suggestions for the time being. Just fuck. You step onto the basement stairs, following the princess as she ascends. Is this really worth? At least that doesn't justify anything. A terrible choice.
Make sure you keep up. We wouldn't want you to fall.
As if acting on instinct, you crane your neck and look behind you. There is nothing there. The princess reaches the top of the stairs and taps on the door. Her head twists back in your direction, watching you with dead eyes as the way out creaks open. Don't forget that your pristine blade is still on the other side. You can still make this right. You can still save everyone. There's no harm in us having a weapon. What it does is give us more options. Have you considered that maybe you could operate the autonomic nervous system for a bit? Everyone is trying to manipulate us, and I can only do so many things at once to keep us alive. Your body seizes violently as you regain consciousness on the floor of the cab. No. You're doing it all wrong. You're supposed to do it like this. Heart, lungs, liver. I guess I have to do everything.
There we go. Back with me where you belong. I thought you might have decided to break yourself just to spite me. It's better for you that you didn't. Now we can get back to business. For starters, we won't need this where we're going.
The princess plucks the blade from the floor and tosses it through the door behind you. It vanishes into the inky black of the basement, never to be seen. Guess we're not stabbing her, and I guess I'm going to fix myself a stiff drink.
And now you open the door.
There's nothing else for us to do.
Yeah, I guess.
The doorknob twists in your hand, revealing the forested path beyond the cabin.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to ruin it. But it's so cold, too. It's itching against my skin. Why is it so cold?
Oh no, she's turning into that again.
She's gone. Is that
Okay.
This
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become possible.
So this is her? Or am I like psychotic? Like I'm like a schizophrenic?
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me. This one is filled with sadness. A doll, abandoned to the company of her darkest impulses. She desires only companionship, but the only thing she knows is how to hurt. She will make for a tender heart.
What?
Do not mourn her. She has finally found her way home. muscles are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
Okay.
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets. I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
You're on a path. You're here. You make your... We're not going to go through with this. Ignore him. The interior of the blade.
I'm gonna enter the basement again.
The door to her voice.
Hello?
Is don't let.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down.
I see. You're trying.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs. She's beautiful. I am begging you.
Hi. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
You were lying when you said you were here to rescue her, but... You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you.
You're making a... No. You're doing the walk up to the chair, large and heavy. Far too solid for you to eat.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete... If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant. We're tempted to make someone else here. Your shouts and pleas. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here. You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Oh, come on.
You make your way easier for everyone. Look at them.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the...
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates,
Ah!
her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with a determination as she rips her flesh from her bone. A sound. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's we could use it to free. You won't like what happened.
I'm gonna save the princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground. She didn't so much as utter a sound. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours. How is she still smiling after everything?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let us. The princess approaches the bottom stair. Wait, this isn't fair. Watch me.
What are you doing?
I have no option. I don't warn her.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't...
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. The princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before them. Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying.
Resist.
Move the as your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance.
We both know this.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your.
I'm sorry.
She plunges it into your.
Oh no.
Stay strong for her. Whatever.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy the knife.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, you can't just end her. Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as everything goes dark, you die.
Come on.
You're on a path. You're here. A warning. She will lie. If only. Forget, but he last. I think I do. Sure, don't pay their bill. The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prison. The blade is your implement. You walk up to the wall. What are you talking? You reach forward, but there was a. Now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stair.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever. We don't even know the prince. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. My love, we're here to rescue you from your
Voice of the smitten?
imprisonment. You know she can't hear. She may not be able to hear my words, but sure. Oh, your spirit's plenty.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
The fuck
You
is
hear that?
going
She
on?
called us a hero. Flattery really goes on waiting for you to come back.
Huh.
You've been here before, haven't you? That's right, villain. And you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world. But everything reset. Nothing resets. You're just somewhere else.
Huh? Is this like a multiverse?
Forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. Horrible for you, maybe. But we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is. Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? We never saw a world end. And now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny.
This is my first playthrough.
Shan't let anyone convince us otherwise. Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just
But if I reach the the end quickly, I might play out like, you know, different decisions. Which one should I choose?
Other
Let's do
version
this
of me
one.
was pushed to such drastic action. It was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride, to a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually. That's because she's perfect. I think she has someone like him telling her what to do. She doesn't. There's no one else like me. I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying.
The narrator is getting more sus. Yeah, let's just fucking rescue.
What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to unleash her onto the world, despite the complete moral disaster that would be, you'd have to get her out of those chains. Don't you see how dainty her hands are? You'll be able to slip her out with ease. No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already? Because we've yet to present her with her freedom. I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? Or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells you what you can and cannot do? I think I'd rather believe in fact. Ah, so you're one of those empiricists. One of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free our beloved from her bindings. No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, you'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I would end our life without a second thought. You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. I can't believe it. I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back, and everyone out there would be saying, luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
Let me guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had it all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. It's the only thing you've ever doubted, the actual truth.
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I want you to tell me what you want to do. There must be something you want. Do you want to end the world? I just want to leave. We can figure out this. If you want to leave, then let's leave. Let's explore, but...
I just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
So the narrator is the bad guy? Like he can do super stuff?
Lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you will ever know. You're listening to this. You don't have to go along with every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door.
I'm trying to make this a happy ending. This run, at least.
And lock clicks, and the door creaks open. I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs, and
Oh. I'm not doing that.
you're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin, and then you step outside. Our happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did he go? Oh, was he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
Cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess. She's gone. Is that a... Yes.
Well... Are we trying to get all versions of her? Is that what I have to do, actually? Get all the endings?
All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me? It will, in time, but you still have a ways to go before we are done. Know that I hold no malice for you.
100?
We will know when we near our destination. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Jesus Christ, jump scare.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a camp. You're here to... Does it?
Oh shit.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. We're not going to go through... Ignore. The interior of the blade is...
I'm not gonna take the blade because every time the blade, I don't want to go bad.
The door to the base, her voice
Hello?
is.
Why does he keep doing that?
Don't let it.
Last time I did this. The first time I did this.
You are? It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
Okay.
You walk down the stairs. I am begging you.
Hi.
Hold on, let's talk. But first, I'll see what I can do. Let's try this.
Okay.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you.
You're making us no. You're doing the walk. They're large and heavy.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Doubtful.
Let's do this.
Okay.
I think
I'll
the
be here.
door's
Attempt to
locked.
make your way. Someone else.
Right. Turn.
You make your easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam.
There's a slight.
If I could just get out of
She barely hesitates. She rips her
Shit.
flesh from
Okay,
her
we've
bones.
got. We
The
just
door
went
we
through
think you
this.
won't like.
Slay the princess.
Without hesitation, bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. The wound drives her to the ground. Okay. There's no.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
The princess pushes away from you. The motion ripping.
Oh
the blade from
shit.
her back.
No, 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 no. I fucked up.
Wounded, but still alive.
Fucked
she
up.
crouches
I
on
fucked
all
up.
fours in the
I have to be nice every time.
meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible
Uh-oh.
enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from
Oh,
me.
really? Is that the key?
I thought we had the
I have to balance being nice and.
She's bared to act. She's wounded and not so. Don't waver. As you
Ah.
put your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your knife cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This
So you
is
can't
about
beat
survival.
this game?
Give her everything you've got. Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've
It's
done
just
your
different
fair share of
endings?
damage
Like
as
there's
well.
no like
The blade
best
has left
ending?
Deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your. We can still turn this around.
Finish
Steel your
the
resolve
job.
to take. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted, Dak? Can you not feel them? You take another step forward. The two of you enter one last exchange. A flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons. You collapse on the ground, and the princess collapses beside you. Blood pools.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
Silence as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible price, but you've saved us all. It's over.
If you think this is it, you're sorely mistaken.
What?
One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything.
The witch.
You're on a path. You're here. She will love. Don't worry.
Okay, this is my last playthrough of this game.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls are
And then we're
chaotic
going to
weave of
something
rotted
else.
wood that, almost as if by accident, just happens to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. No blade. It'll always be here if we need it.
Oh wait,
Sure,
the
that was
opportunist.
also true last time, and we still. The door to the basement creaks open. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
The way things are described in this world, it's quite beautiful actually. You know, it's very like it paints a very vivid picture.
Her voice skitters up.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs.
Uh-oh.
Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. But you are. You're a wretched little thing. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decision? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you.
Holy shit, she looks like a
Descend the
fox.
basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring.
And there you are, once again seeming to offer a helping hand while likely hiding the other behind your back. Fine, I'll play along for now. What do you want?
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it.
Is the
I won't waste
princess
time fighting you
me?
on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her.
I know. She does look kind of like weird.
Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't
Okay.
talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well,
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
okay. Let's see which one. Well, mistakes, right? I'm sure you made mistakes. I got the sense that you're not happy with. I get the sense. You scared me, okay? When you started gnawing your arm off, it scared me, so I stabbed you. Things got out of hand. I'm unarmed. That's a gesture of goodwill, so why don't we talk about it? We both died last time. Can't bygones be bygones? No, I don't think she'll take that. I died last time. You didn't. If anyone here shouldn't be trusted, it's you. Look, I know. Things got messy last time, but I think there's something bigger than both of us at work. We should team up. I like that one. Why do I have a nagging feeling you're going to stab me in the back if I help you? That's also another one. I don't trust you, not enough to free you. Wait, hold up. I'm leaving. Bye. Okay, let's do
I
this.
suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after
Okay, maybe
all.
you chose the wrong
And
one.
unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
Okay.
Oh, I don't need you to cut me out.
The princess grins as the chains fall
What?
from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little, a woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own
What? That
devices,
makes
she'll
no
find a
sense.
way
If she
out.
could just
Now
slip
stop
out, why didn't
her.
she just leave? Okay. Let's leave.
Yes, let's.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face. She never breaks eye contact.
She did turn into a fucking furry. She's a tail.
She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
After you, darling.
Holy shit.
You're the one that lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
She's totally gonna stab me.
We can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us. It shouldn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together, and if it doesn't matter, then she can go first. We may be in this together. That doesn't mean we have to trust her.
True.
Somebody has to go first, and it might as well be us. We're the ones who broke her trust last time. You're talking a lot about trusting someone who, by her very definition, cannot be trusted. I don't know how many more warnings I have to dole out, but if you help her out of here, you're going to regret it.
You first.
I turn my back on you. Do you think me a fool? Your tricks are one of the only things I've known, and I've learned better by now.
Huh.
Just go first.
Fuck. Fuck it.
That's right.
Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind you, watching every single thing you.
That's exactly what I'm worried about. You step onto the stairs and begin your ascent from the basement. The princess follows close on your heels, perhaps even a little closer than you'd like. You're only saying that because you want us to feel nervous. I do want those things, but I want them for a good reason. I don't need you to trust me for my sake, because I already know that I'm right. Can we walk backwards up the stairs? I think that's the smartest idea. She can't sneak in and attack if we're facing her. No. The stairs are a bunch of
that's true.
moves. You'll trip and hurt yourself. But the princess is silent as you both continue the climb, and in no time at all, isn't that a relief? We're fine. You're not even going to wait until you're through that door to proudly claim, what did you just say? I think we feel something dig into your shoulder, sharp and piercing. The princess together, you tumble back down the uneven stairs. Your body and hers crashing against the unyielding princess lands against the far wall, gasping as she struggles to recover from the impact. You're still in shock, trying to get a hold of yourself. She grins as you continue to remain exactly where you are, cackling derisively as she watches you realize that you... Wait, why won't we be getting up? I'm afraid your back is broken. One unlucky fall is all... You know what? I'll say it. That sucks. I don't know we were going to help her. Why? It's what I would have done if you considered not being like that. Of course not. It's what keeps us alive.
That's true.
And yet here we are, paralyzed and stuck with someone who hates us in the basement of a remote.
You must have known this was coming. The arrogance of turning your back to me after everything you've done. Maybe you were, and maybe you weren't. But even more than I wanted my freedom, I really, really wanted to hurt you.
What a bitch.
And you know as well as I that by our very natures, only one of us could make it up those stairs unscathed.
That's not true. You both
Someone
made
had
it
to make
out.
the first move. Better me than you.
See, this is why I wanted her to go first. I had this whole little scheme planned, where once she passed by the table upstairs, I'd have said, now pick up the blade and
Maybe
stab
that's
her
my
in the
next
back.
move. Get the blade
And
after
then
we
you'd say
leave.
something like, wow, that's an amazing idea that I never saw coming. And then you would have done it and we wouldn't be stuck down here with a broken back. It's just one problem with that. And what's that? She was clearly planning to betray us. And if she was in front of us, she would have gotten to the blade first.
That's true.
You're right, aren't you? I thought this whole thing was ironclad, but really it was doomed from the start, wasn't it? The princess's body twitches as she tries to get up. Ho, ho, ho! So she's as bad as us.
Something inside me is broken. Isn't that a cruel twist of the knife? Isn't that so funny?
No.
She eyes you with intensity, silence falling between you for a long moment as her gaze travels up and down your battered form.
See seems I'm not the only one, though.
Wait, are we both just... Certainly seems that way. What a way to go. Look on the bright side. In all this chaos, you may have actually...
We're going to die together. Isn't that a lovely treat? I wonder how long it'll take. Maybe I'll get to watch the worms lick your bones clean.
Such a bitch.
Is that really what's going to happen? Hello? I think he's gone.
Something strange is twisting this place out of shape. I wasn't feeling much of anything, but now I feel cold.
Is that a cold? Is that a clue?
She's gone. Is that a... This... If he thinks...
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. Do you know what we'll find out?
No, I don't know.
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
Dunno. Ooh, that's interesting.
If he drives you towards my destruction, then he is steeped in delusion. For he does not know me. Just as I hold compassion for you, and you hold compassion for me, you can hold compassion for those who have wronged you.
Okay. Let's destroy my body.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
Okay, so I'm not allowed to make that. Attack the entity? We've never done that.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now.
Okay. Well then, let's just go back.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here.
Highly doubt that. Okay. I am done with that. Yes. Alright. I think we should watch some... What time is it? Okay. We don't have... I mean, we could start this. Okay. Give me 1 second. I want to go get something. But I don't want to start, I don't want to miss the beginning, you know? This one, 44-minute, but I'll just play it. I'm just gonna play this. Yeah, I need some water. I'm so parched.
That are just now dead. I'm seeing them. I listened to their voices. I saw them communicate about what's going on the ground, and then a couple weeks later, you just see them dead. All right, let's watch this GDF video. Piers Morgan is wrong.
I'm going to try and wrestle things back. Jen, let me ask you a question. You mentioned genocide there. What Hamas is actually in its charter dedicated to doing is the purest personification of genocide. Well, it is. They want to see the eradication of Israel, and they proved on October the 7th they will kill as many Jews as they can possibly get their hands on. So that is pure genocide. What Israel is doing in return, I don't think meets the category of genocide. Right? Because they don't want to get rid of every Palestinian. They don't want to kill every Palestinian.
No.
They want to kill every Hamas terrorist. Now,
It only takes mere seconds to introduce a sentence, to millions of people, mind you, that contains numerous presuppositions that are faulty. Setting aside the fact that Hamas rarely invokes the Charter, according to a 2009 report from the United States Institute of Peace, a federal institution, which read, "The Charter itself contains statements that reflect a lack of hostility toward Jews on the basis of religion. For example, as Article 31 states, under Islam, the followers of the three religions, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, may coexist peacefully and safely. Whether or not one accepts this statement as true, it is incompatible with claims of a religious obligation to kill Jews." Regardless, the report also states that Hamas has, in practice, moved well beyond its charter. Hamas has been carefully and consciously adjusting its political program for years and has sent repeated signals that it may be ready to begin a process of coexisting with Israel. Further, Hamas leader Khaled Meshal urged outsiders to ignore the Hamas charter. In 2017, Hamas revised its charter altogether. According to the RAND Corporation, the major defense think tank, Hamas dropped the language explicitly calling for Israel's destruction, which suggests an effort by...
It's always funny when, like, the absolute best information that you can get, some of the most reliable information you can get, is from objectively biased sources that are vestiges of the American empire, okay? Straight up. Like, this is why half of OSINT Twitter is, like, insane war perverts, okay? And it's so funny. Like, it's not that hard. You could just go to the Washington Institute or the RAND Corporation and search this shit, and they will tell you. They will literally just straight up tell you. Obviously, they'll season it, or they'll message it in a way where it'll be like, they'll message it in a way where it'll be like, obviously biased, but still, like, you can find this information.
By Hamas to portray itself as more of an Islamic national liberation movement. Setting aside the fact that Hamas took hostages, evidently not killing every Jew that they could get their hands on, and that some of the dead were reportedly killed by the Israeli military, according to an article from the Israeli Yediot Ahronoth, after the pilots realized that it was very difficult to distinguish between terrorists and Israeli soldiers or civilians, the decision was made that the first objective of the fighter helicopters is to stop the deluge of terrorists. 28 fighter helicopters shot over the course of the day all of the ammunition in their bellies. We are talking about hundreds of 30-millimeter cannon mortars and Hellfire missiles. The frequency of fire at the thousands of terrorists was enormous at the start, and only at a certain point did the pilots begin to slow their attacks and carefully choose the targets. According to the Air Force, in the first 4 hours from the start of the battles, helicopters and fighter craft attacked about 300 targets, most in Israeli territory.
Wait, what? Non-profit but for profit, they're a dishonest company which reaps the benefits of non-profit. So they aren't sorry for their charter or their message, they're just sorry the rest of the world didn't like the wording. So they'll say it without writing it next time. Brother, I don't know if you know this, but political organizations oftentimes rebrand. They always engage in violent actions, it's a constant, but oftentimes they will re-triangulate their message. I don't know if you know that. An example of a political organization that is like re-triangulated its messaging would be probably Likud. Some of the original doctrines have remained. I mean, when you even consider the PLO or the Palestinian Authority, these were originally considered terrorist cells. Like, they're comprised of people who were also terrorists. Same with the ANC. Same with Nelson Mandela. Throughout time, organizations have the capacity to shift. This does not mean that, like, they're talking about OpenAI. No, I don't think he's talking about OpenAI. I think he's talking about the new Hamas charter.
They explain in these articles that what they saw at the beginning of this operation was complete chaos. And in fact, here reported by Haaretz, a journalist on X, who says that this 48-year-old man that we see in this picture.
What? I fucking said this, and you denied it. You literally said anyone who said Israel killed its own citizens was anti-Semitic. No, I said it is ridiculous to claim, and copium, and I still say this, to engage in any kind of, like, fucking...
I do think Hassan is a little bit, like...
any kind of fucking rhetoric that
stubborn
automatically,
sometimes.
One, tries to act like the overwhelming majority people killed were not civilians, and two, to act like Israel was
prosciutto and
responsible
drinking a
primarily
LaCroix.
for killing the most Israeli civilians. I still maintain that position. Okay?
What would be great would
I
be
did
like
not say
melon.
it's anti-Semitic to say that Israel killed its own citizens. I don't think that. I don't know how you inferred that. I, as a matter of fact, did say
Ooh, that's
Israel
fizzy.
most likely did kill
Or like
some of its
cantaloupe.
own civilians. In that process, we had limited evidence at the time. Some of the evidence came from Yasmin Parat from one of the kibbutz who had escaped the concert, who had said that tank artilleries and crossfire could have led to civilians dying in one of the kibbutzim. And I also did say that even the helicopters could have potentially killed some of the Israeli civilians that were most likely held hostage by, that were in the cars alongside Hamas militants, okay? But this does not change the reality that there are still hundreds of civilians being indiscriminately fired at by multiple different Palestinian militants. That is the truth. That doesn't change that reality, and I want everyone to still personally understand it. That is the reality. I'm, of course, going to be very cautious in my reporting, especially when I know I got vultures at bay waiting for anything that they can clip out of context, okay?
He does have a lot of haters, but I do think that sometimes it's a little bit.
The pro-Palestinian side is obviously very charitable and understanding of my position, okay? But there are, however, vultures on the side of no politics.
I think
really,
he's more
but,
right than he's wrong.
I guess you could ostensibly
I'll
fill
say
them
that.
under the category of Zionist Hasbara propaganda that are waiting for anything and everything they can to
Well, we're
specifically.
We're
clip out
inherently
of
different
context
people, so
and
it's like
say,
we're not
"We
gonna
got him, boys. He's
agree on
lying."
every single topic,
was
every
killed by
single
the
thing.
IDF,
You know, we're
after
completely
being
different.
mistakenly confused, identified as a terrorist.
Setting all that aside, Pierce shows a fundamental lack of understanding of what genocide is. Perhaps this is an opportunity for others to
Oh
learn as
my
well.
god, that was such a disaster.
As the war grinds on, the IDF has been on a full-blown media assault. And as the humanitarian crisis worsens, it is of the utmost importance that
There's only so many times you can call wolf before people don't stop believing you. Okay. We're gonna start the tape thing tomorrow during the day stream. I won't be streaming Thursday and Friday because I'm taking Thanksgiving off. I've got social engagement on Friday. And so I will see you I'll see you tomorrow for sure, daytime stream and nighttime stream. And then I may or may not do a surprise weekend stream. Like, it just depends on what's going on with family. And then I will see you back Monday evening again.
We last sat down to
You can't please everyone. Haters ain't gonna hate. Just like what Taylor Swift said. And the faker's gonna fake. So I'm just gonna shake it off. Shake it off.
that we all have access to unbiased sources.
Am I gonna get
I've
clapped
been using
for
this
that?
app and website by Ground News, and it's become my
Ethical
go-to
Reacts,
resource to get
Ethical
the full
Reacts.
picture. This article recently caught my attention. UN urges international probe into Israel-Hamas war violations. More than 50 articles were published on this in the last 2 days.
Does it sound
and
exactly
coverage is
like
coming
her?
mainly from left-leaning sources. In fact, looking closer, I noticed the headlines are based on politics. Coverage from the left emphasizes immediate possibility of starvation and a dire crisis, while on the right, headlines paint a less dire picture. It's interesting to look at the news this way, where a single word or phrase has the ability to shape public opinion. I've been following their timeline on the Israel-Palestine conflict to see how media coverage differs depending on
That sounds
political
useful.
affiliation. I think
Maybe
what
I'll
Ground News is doing
download.
is really important,
Maybe I'll
and I encourage
download
you to check
this.
it out. Go
Ground?
to ground.news/GDS. Subscribe through my link for less than $1 a month, or take advantage of their
Oh.
biggest discount of the year, 40% off their Vantage plan for unlimited access.
Just to reply to these people's points, they didn't hire. It's also confirmed that the IDF killed a lot of
Dang, you have
civilians.
to pay. That
They
sucks.
killed a lot of civilians. The IDF, according to Haaretz reporting, the latest reporting on the on October 7th, they believe that the helicopter fire also potentially led to some Israeli civilians dying. They did not say how many Israeli civilians were killed by the attack helicopters. They simply said some of the Israeli civilians may have been killed by attack helicopters. Okay?
Which is what I have. Get access to data-driven
Stop trying to make ethical reacts as a phrase happen. I mean, I'm memeing.
information and support my channel in the meantime.
Why would the IDF ever admit that they killed a lot of Israeli civilians? They would not. They did not even admit to killing a single Israeli civilian, as a matter of fact. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the IDF admits. I don't trust the IDF as far as I can throw them. I don't trust the IDF at all. I do, however, trust journalists that write for a multitude of different Israeli publications that aren't the psychopathic ultra-Zionists that many assume them to be. They're not. They're still journalists. They might even be Zionist journalists who might even be biased towards Israel, who will still report truthfully because ultimately their position is to ensure that the victims
I'll
and
see
their
you tomorrow.
family members
I hope you
learn
have full
about
stream
how
day.
their family members died. Okay?
Embrace them and believe them. You must remember what Amalek has done to you.
Maybe I should stop too then. I mean, it's 12. Yeah. I might hit the hay too. Alright. Bye. See you tomorrow. I will hydrate. And I will try to take care of myself. I'm on a diet, so it's been a struggle. But, you know, beauty is pain. Alright, good night.